2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey everybody, it's Dustin. I'm your host today, and we're going to do some art as we always do. And today is going to be a bit of Asian culture, and this one is inspired partly by one of my favorite movies, and it's called The Last Samurai. And that one was with Tom Cruise way back in the day, and it was just, I don't know, I really love that show. And maybe the culture of it, and I guess I love ninjas and samurais and all that stuff as a kid, so it all comes roundabout. And so today is kind of has that Asian feel, a bit of inspired. The style of building we're going to do is that feel, and the cherry blossoms and stuff like that. And so I'm going to get a move on here because I want to make sure that we get this done on time. So making sure that we're starting with a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of white. Just a little bit of white. Yes, sir. Again, cheap paint, cheap brush. Let's get it done. $2. $2. Go to your local dollar store. Get the paint you need, the paint you want. Get the brushes you want. And I just want to show you, this is acrylic paint. I just love showing people what they can do with very little bit of money. You don't think you have to go out there and buy hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars worth of brushes and material and stuff like that. It's just not necessary. So we're going to do a really warm kind of a sunset. And again, in the last, I believe it was the last episode, maybe, no, the one before that, I showed everybody that I used a canvas that's recycled, so to speak. And what happened was I was out doing a paint night, and some of the students that were out there decided to quit early, and they left, whatever the reason. And so the canvases were half painted, and so I had to go and take them. They put them in the garbage, and I had to take them out of the garbage and say, like, "What are you guys doing? Let's use it again. Use it again." And I just took it, and even though whatever they painted over top of it, I simply took it and I painted it black. And painting it black, you can just, it's a fresh start. Fresh start on a canvas. Fresh start on a canvas. Now I'm just mixing a little bit of yellow, a little bit of orange, a little bit of white, and we're making a nice soft sunset. Now here's the key to what I do when I'm doing my sunsets, or anything in my sky, just my sky in general. I tell people, put paint on your canvas. People just dip it in just with the little edge of their brush, and they're just barely touching the paint. And it's like, no, get paint on there. Squish it, pull away from where the paint is. Pull it towards yourself and get both sides nice and thick. And we want paint on that canvas. And the more you put on, now don't want to clog it so it's just a whole bunch of just a mess of paint. But you want to paint it so you can spread it around a little bit further than where it's at. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of orange in that because I'm not a fan of that yet. And down here, we're just a little bit more sunny, you know? It's just a little bit more sunny. I'm only going to bring it down about halfway. And I'm not too worried about the sides but beyond where I come down here, very much past there. And the reason is because I'm going to put a little bit of distant mountains in there, and I want to make sure that it kind of covers that area anyway, so you don't have to stress over that. Now, again, here's a key that I try and tell people. When you put on your paint, get it on there nice, start at the top while it's wet, left to right, from top to bottom while it's wet. The more you do this, if you're trying to blend colors together, the more you do this, the easier it's going to be to blend your colors. Put that orange on there. Look. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. While it's still wet. guess what? I can blend that. Now, acrylics dry fast, so you have to move quick. Now, I noticed that it started to get a little dry and started to pull off instead of blending. Just dip your brush, I would say half of it at most, in some water. And that's going to come back and soften that paint up that little bit that you need to finish your sunset. All right, we got that far. Let's take it to the extreme. I'm going to add a little bit of pink to the yellowish orange that we made. And we just want to drop in some clouds. Doesn't have to be fancy. They can be faded. They could be simple. Nothing crazy. Maybe you want to do a dark one. Maybe you want a little more purple and just add a tint of blue. And we're just making little circles, or little half circles at least. Now I could have left this till later and thrown some clouds in there. And you can layer it and it'll go on really thick and it'll go on nice and good. But I think for what we're doing right now, it'll be okay if I just keep it simple and do it like this while it's still wet. That we're not worried about time crunch or anything later on. We'll just do what we need to do and it will turn out how it turns out. You know, I think the hardest part of doing artwork, I'm not going to lie, is trying to pick what you're going to paint, especially when you're trying to do a show or you're trying to come up with a concept for like a paint night or something. It's not easy. I don't care what anyone says. It's not easy picking your paintings, and sometimes it's like you can't even pick a paint. You just have to just wing it and make it happen. I mean, it's nice to get practice, which is why you do it, right? It's because you want a little bit of practice before you actually paint it. Or at least you get the concept of it so you can paint it. But sometimes you just have to wing it. And that's the stuff that comes out of your head as well, right? When you're just going on the fly. Now what I'm doing is I'm adding just a little bit of blue and a little bit more pink. I'm making just a tad of a purple. And I'm just getting the tops because the sun is coming up. So the tops aren't going to get hit with that sun. They're going to be a little more darker. And so I'm just hitting them with that. You know, it's kind of like when we do our white clouds and the sun's hitting it from the top or from the back side. You get that white, nice ring of brightness. Not necessarily ring, you know what I'm talking about. You just have that nice rim of brightness. And it just touches that edge and it just makes it pop. Well, when you add that, see? Underneath, nice and light. Up top has that dark appeal. So I'm going to go up one more spot here. Hit some more edges here. Blend it down a little bit. I might have to go back in with a little more orange, a little more yellow. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Whew. Too much. Calm down, sir. Calm down, sir. All right. It's a bit calmer. This is a bit calmer, I think. Yeah, that's more like it. Just reblending a little bit. Now, I'm going to add maybe, yeah, let's do one more up here. One more up here. I have to do that rim up top as much as I can kind of fit in the picture. Just to make it look like it's not so out of the ordinary. Now you can really spice it up if you want, and you can add, say, a little bit. Watch, I might as well show you. I'm just going to quickly clean my brush, dry it off really good. There's the key. There's the key to almost all your paintings, to making sure that the colors go on good and go on smooth. Clean your brush. clean your brush. So I'm going to take my yellow and add it in with just a bit of white. It's going to be a very light yellow, because I want that white to be the dominant side of the paint color. And it might be completely white. And so what you can do is maybe we'll pick a spot over here. No, a little more yellow. A little more yellow. It's just going to make it look like the bottom of that cloud is hit with a nice little highlight. See? Don't have to go through all of it. There's only a couple spots that are being hit. Maybe you don't want to put it there at all. Maybe you just want to do a couple little parts on that edge. Look at that. Right, and that just gives the feel. And you can feel like, oh, that's just a bit too much. Well, go back into the color that you used before and just blend it down into it a little bit more. Right. Just blend it in a little bit. So it doesn't look like just the white is just standing right out. This still gives the feel of the highlights. That's okay. We're okay. We're okay. Right? I don't want to get too crazy. We're filling a lot of this in. So I'm going to dry my brush, wash it and dry it quickly. I always stab it in the bottom pretty hard. I'll tell you why. Because that paint gets up in those bristles and you need to clean it out of there when you're pulling in that next color. And if you don't do it, good sir, it is going to be hard to try and keep that next color you use to be what you want it to be. So I'm going white, blue, and just the slightest touch of green to give it almost like a turquoisey feel. Just a really soft. Because again, we're doing background colors and we're making it faint, very faint back there. And I'm just picking some spots that I want some hills in the background. Now I'm not even going to pull those all the way down, as in like to the bottom of the sky there. I want gaps left, like the horizon and the mirage of it is kind of filling it in a little bit. Before I do my other side, actually maybe the bottom, because I might blend up with that. Yeah, we'll see. Just doing some swirls. I'm not adding any other paint. Just a little more swirls, and that's kind of filling in that bottom just a bit, misting it up just a bit around the bottom. So it just makes it feel like there's a mountain in the background. All right. And just follow the flow of it, how you want it to look. There we go. Super soft, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Just a touch more white. I'm even going to add just a hint of yellow in there, because I want it a little more. Yeah, like that. Right? Let's just fill that in. Just fill it in. Swirls, 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 swirls. Swirls. Add swirls. Okay. All right. I like where we're going with this so far. So these are some distant mountains back there. Who knows what's going on back there? That's the mystery of it all. So now that I got those, I want to clean my brush one more time. I want to just get back into that yellow-orange combination, yellow-orange-white combination. And I want to just hit that bottom. Now I should have maybe, or could have maybe, that's not bad. Could have maybe gone a little bit farther with the yellow and orange. But I'm just trying to see where we're at here. You can even blend it up a little bit into the hills, just to kind of make it feel like it's a part of that, right? See how it just, when you start adding it, just makes it feel like there's a missed part of that, the bottom of that mountain. And you're not shocked that there's some yellow below it. Maybe that's reflecting on the lake or something like that. Who knows? It's all way back there. That's the mystery. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Yes, sir, right there. That's all I need. Now, I'm not going to go too crazy, but the next thing I want to do is add in some more background hills, but these are going to be a little bit darker blue. So my first color that I'm going to use back there is just a regular, almost a sky blue. You know what? I want to add just a hint of yellow, just to push it towards the greener side. And now this one's going to be all the way back like that. This guy's going to come all the way left to right. I'm going to figure out where I want him sitting down here. Yes, sir. Right there. That's the spot. That's the spot. So it's just going to be a little bit more blue than the ones in the background. And then the next layer, it's going to be even darker blue. Again, we don't want to go too far, too wide. I want to make it look good. I want to pull this down just a little bit. Make sure we capture it all. Ooh, that dark blue is trying to sneak onto my light blue side of the tray. We ain't having it. We ain't having it. Okay, so if you're painting and you just lift off like that or start in the middle, look, see all those brush marks? We don't want those. So start at an edge, work your way across to another edge. This is why you get the right amount of paint on your canvas. See a little thing I gotta pick off there. So, and sometimes you can lift off really fast in the direction you're going, and it won't hinder it. And it comes off and looks smooth still. So the next color, we're going even darker. And this one we're going to go a little more wavy. A little more wavy. Let's see. I might have to pull this up a little bit further. You know what? I might even add just a touch of black to it. Just a hint. Yeah. Hint of black to it. Man, I just want to add a hint of green to it as well. Just a touch of green to it as well. Yeah, that's more of the color I'm looking for. That's going to stand out more. All right. And you know, a lot of this is going to be hidden, like the sides. So don't stress over it, how far you bring it down. Just bring your picture up into it. There we go. Now, I see that I did that little dark edge. Like that. On the other side. I want that on the right side. Just like that. Just like that. Okay. You know what? It's going to have to be okay. So the next thing I want to do, now that I got that there, I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. I should be anyway. Yeah, this is just a little bit darker version of that. Just to kind of give it a little bit of an edge. Just add something to it. Make it feel that it's not perfectly shaped. Just a hint of some shadows up there on the hill. This is the back side, right? The sun sets. It's already below the horizon line, so that it's going to cast some shadows on those hills. And that's okay. That's going to give it the look that we want. Right? There we go. I'm happy with that. That's background stuff. Okay, so on that next part, I know if I did that, you're like, wow, you're going to have to do the next little ridge. And I see that I could. I'm going to try it, and if it doesn't look good, well, it is what it is. There we go. Just a little bit of a ridge edge. Don't want to go too dark. Can't be going too dark. It's going to cause you some trouble. There we are. How's that? That's okay. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to touch that too much. It's all background stuff. Not worried about that. And of course I continue to touch it. Whatever. Yeah, I find that color is just a little bit, I guess a little bit better of what I was wanting in the first place. Okay, so now I'm done that. I'm going to clean my brush really good as we're scooting along here. We're scooting along. Time is flying. All right, so we could do one more layer and just bring some rolling hills down. I'm not, you know what? Forgive me, back. I got to go back into that. I got to go back into that one more time. I just feel like it's not quite as dark as what I want it to be. And I'm so close, but I'm just not. Right? I'm just not there yet. That's better. That's better. There we go. Kind of like that, just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. It's a little bit darker. You know? It's more of the feel I was wanting. There. Perfect. Okay. Oh, voila. I'll bring this down just a little bit. Just a touch more. So I don't have to do too much on the sides of this next. Actually, the reason why is because the next area is going to be a bit of a plateau. And so, in order for that to stand out, yeah, even that, I need to pull it straight across. Almost straight across anyway. Now again, normally, you know what, you could take 5 minutes and you could just let this dry. And it would look super good. Let it dry, do its thing. We ain't got time for that. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start it below. Now, what I want is we're gonna put a bit of a, I'm gonna pull it up here, maybe a halfway point, and then we're gonna put a nice little Asian style building on there. A couple trees, and then we're gonna try and maybe get a little bit of a spring waterfall going across there. So what I might do, just to fill in that color, it's almost like a reflection of the sky color. A little bit of pink, a little bit of white, a little bit of, it's almost like a light peach. Maybe a little bit darker underneath, and then you do, yeah, that's probably a smart idea. Smart idea. A little bit darker underneath, and then we'll add the lighter on top once we really get to it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just Little waterfall here, a little bit here. Then we're going to pull a bridge across there, right? And then we're going to pull it over here. It's going to drop down a little more. And that might be it. Maybe that's as far as it's going to drop. And I don't care that that dark is in there. I just don't care. Why? Because it's shadows. And then the highlights come in afterwards. So don't stress the small stuff. Don't stress the small stuff. I have intentionally put in that dark blue. See? Don't care because it's gonna act in our favor. I'll tell you that right now. It'll work in our favor. In el favor. All right. Now we're gonna mix it up a little more. A little more. All right. Okay, we got this. Okay, we got that down over. All right, let's finish this off. Down one more time. And yeah, that's fine. You know what? We'll pull that side right down because it'll be maybe coming out of the landscape. That's fine. Now I'm going to go back into black and I want to shape this landscape, but I want to make it so, how should we do it? We're going to slant it a little bit. Again, if you're having trouble where that black's not coming off as smooth as you want, just add a touch of water. Don't go too crazy because we want this to look nice and thick, but we want it to dry quick. Right? And if it doesn't dry quick and you're just loading all your paint on, then we can't add the grass like we want to. It's just not going to cover like it's supposed to, right? Now with this, again, I'm not trying to put the paint on super thick because I want it to dry. I might have to take a 5-minute break and come back, let it dry and do its thing. So that way when we come back, you're ready to go on a dry canvas, on dry paint so that you can put your next layer and it's going to go on nice and smooth. That's the big issue. Again, I mentioned that many times before. When you're teaching paint classes and you have a time crunch, sometimes you don't have time to let it dry, and so when people go in and start putting on their highlight colors, they forget that you're going to have to go on thick if that's the case, and you'll have to keep doing it. And in other words, like when you start doing grass, you might only get a couple little spots of grass, and then you're going to have to go right back into your green again and highlight it again. So it's a process. I don't care how dark this black is behind it, for the reason of I'm simply covering it with grass anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to pull the canvas up just a hair, just to the edge of that easel. One of these days, I'm telling you, one of these days, I'll get myself a better easel where the canvas just comes straight out to the front. I don't have that little lip where I have to worry about painting over it or behind it. So what I do in my art classes is I always take a time out once we're finished an area that we need to let dry. I always take a time out, even if it's 5 minutes, because you can take your canvas off and you can just fan it for 5 minutes and she's dry. That's the beauty of acrylic paints. And it's a reason why I'm using it now, because not a lot of people have access to oil paints or good ones. I usually buy mine from Michael's, Winsor & Newton. I believe that's the kind I like. And they seem to do well. So I'm happy with that. And so I want to make sure I can see. This is an old, yeah, because this is an old painting of mine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shape out the building, so I can make sure. And I can also put on some trees on the side, get them ready, because we want them on that ledge, right? So the first thing is I want to, how should I do this? All right, we're going to have some, this is the plateau of the house. We're going to have some steps, just some small steps, maybe a couple. Maybe a couple on each side. Over, down, over, down. Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom. And just fill it in. We'll do highlights after. We'll fill it in after. We'll push to make sure that we rush and get it filled in. It'll look great once we're done. I may pull out a smaller brush just to get some of the more detail in there. Now from there, I'm going to do this style of building. So this is, I'm going to shape it out so you can see what I'm doing. It's one of those ones that has the walkthrough where you can see through to the other side, to the back side. And I love the style of the edges of the roof. It's going to come across. Maybe it'll curl up on the side. And then we'll come down, curl up like that. Yeah, and then we'll do one more layer, so we'll fill that in as, yeah, there we are. There we are. Okay. You know, even if you, excuse me, even if this is all we do and it's a silhouette, it'll look good. Don't get me wrong. It'll look good. Just make sure it's straight. Just make sure it's straight. We'll say it's a crooked hill, but that's not it's not helping us at all, is it? Their architecture is so good. I'm going to pull it down just a little bit and go across like that. Okay, the next part we're going to do another smaller little layer. That's fine by me, right there. All right. And again, if it's not coming off smooth, you know what to do. Just add water, a little bit of water. All right, so this guy's going to be just a hair smaller, but we want to make it so it comes from like a pyramid and then just a little curl out. Whoosh. Straight to the outside and then a little curl out. Perfect. All right. Perfect. Look at that. Okay, maybe it's not perfect, but you get the concept. We can always add the detail after and straighten it up and all that stuff because, well, maybe it's on a bit of a hill. Maybe the hill's shifting. Who knows? Who knows? We can blame it on that. It's our painting. It's our painting. Okay, so I'm going to do this. There we go. That straightened it out a little bit. A little bit straighter feel to it. There we go. That's good. I'm happy with that. Maybe, like I said, we'll just have to leave it as shadows. I'm fine with that. We're just about dry here. We're just about dry here. So what I can do, while we're doing that, we're going to do two things. I'm going to add a tree. Now these trees aren't going to be just, these are more of the cherry blossoms. Let's do that. So I'm going to draw the trunks, or paint in the trunks, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get to putting in some limbs. Now I had my more of a liner brush here somewhere. Oh, it's caught. That's why. That's why. Okay, we got it. We're okay. We're okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint. Take brush, pull your brush back on an angle, okay? Like that. Pull it down. pull it down, pull it down, pull it down. Get it nice and thin, okay? I'm gonna pull this up just a little bit so we can see. You can see that little bit of what we're doing. Because you want that brush as thin as possible. You want, because you're gonna start with a really thin edge and you're gonna slowly work your way down. Look at that. Ooh, I like that. This one might be a little more straight, right? And I'm pushing down the further I come down to the ground. Now here's what I'm doing. I'm taking a liner brush, or more of a liner brush. It's thin. See that? It's thin, nice and thin. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm putting a little bit of water in the black, just so it comes off my brush smooth on the canvas. And we're gonna create a whole bunch of areas where these branches are coming off. We're gonna round this tree up. Don't just make them straight. Swiggle them up, swirl them, stack a couple together maybe. Maybe there's 3 parts that come off one little area. That's okay. Get creative. You can go out and lift off if you want. That's a really good way to do it. If you have a really thin brush and you're okay with it, you can start off thin out here and work your way down to the tree trunk, which is sometimes the way I like to do it. Just keep it simple. All right, we're almost there for this, and we can add our cherry blossoms. All right, because I want to make sure that we fill it in enough, or have enough time, because time is just flying. You know, when I started doing these videos, I thought, how in the world am I going to fit an hour painting in a video, man? Like maybe half hour. Oh my word. Am I glad that I did not do half-hour segments, because we would never get none of these done in half hour. We could do variations, obviously, and simplify a lot of stuff, but we could never do these in half hour. Not a chance. I'm finding out an hour's not enough. Need to do 1.5 hour segments. Maybe need to do a 2-hour show. I don't know. But I'm happy with these little branches. Again, keep it small, simple. Let them swivel, let them live way out there. Whoosh, whoosh. All right, that's enough for that. So what I want to do for cherry blossoms is I want to do pink. What brush do I want to take? Honestly, any type of brush that just has a round front edge on it. Maybe this guy. I'll try this guy and see how that works. And I'm going to put a little bit of water on it. It's not quite the liner brush. It's not quite a filbert either. But I'm going to take a little bit of black and go in with the pink. It's going to make like a ugly purple. But it's going to be dark, right? Because you have to have shadows. And all we're going to do is we're going to just put it on our brush and we're going to dab it on in places that we feel that we want our shadows to live. And this does not have to be perfect. You're just filling out areas where you think those shadows are going to be. I'm trying to speed her up a little bit here. Make sure we get everything filled in. Make sure we get it all filled in. Nothing perfect about this. Just go in clumps though, like your trees, but make sure you leave room for your branches back there to be seen. If not, it's just gonna, you're gonna be missing out. You're gonna be missing out. So now that I did that on that one, actually I'm gonna go and do the other one quick. Just a hint of black. Again, it's almost just a purple. Let's see what's going on here. Just shaping it, making the tree kind of round. Maybe the top is going to stand out a little bit further than the other. That's fine. Maybe it's just a clump over here and a clump over there. But leave room for those branches. Maybe a little bit over here. Just like that. That's looking good so far. But don't forget, it's also going to be coming out towards you. And a lot of times we do edges of the trees and we forget to actually fill in the middle of the tree on this side towards us. And it's like, man, we missed a whole bunch that we never should have missed. Okay, so now we got that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go straight pink. And I'm going to put a lot of paint on, and I'm going to pick spots that I want to start to get those pink cherry blossoms in there. Now, we're going to add white after. That's our next level. Actually, probably we'll do white and pink together. And then sometimes I just like to add pink at the last. Now, pick your areas. What side you kind of want more of the highlights on. So you can leave some of the shadows on the back side, right? So I'm doing this. A little bit more, and then I'm going to start adding that white and pink together, and it's going to start to come together. You watch. You watch. I mean, get some off that edge too, right? Yes, sir. Fill those areas in. Again, you don't have to go too small with these and make really detailed leaves, but I mean, you can start to do it now. Any highlight color you're able to do that with, you can really start to do it, but I think distantly we're going to be okay with what I got going on. That should be at least get the idea that some cherry blossom trees back there. Right? Okay, I like that. Now, next color is a light pink, okay? This is going to be more of a highlight color, mostly a highlight color. So I'm going to pick some edges that I really want that to stand out on. It's like the outside edges of some of these clumps of branches. Might come down a little bit, shining through that tree. Right? Right? Not everywhere. Not everywhere. Not everywhere. Right? Yes, sir. Right? We still want to leave some edges. Look at that. Just start to pop now, right? Just start to pop. Don't fill it all in. The whole purpose of when you put on your highlights as you go is staggering it. Stagger it so that you don't have to worry about covering up everything in the background and being like, where did it go? I'm missing it. Where did it go? I can't see anything. It just looks like a clump of color, and that's not what we want. That is not what we want. All right. Moving along quickly. And look at that. I think we're okay. You know, I'm just doing a couple white, straight white. You can just go straight white. Even mix it a little bit with your pink. Pick some areas that you just want that white to stand out on. Don't do it all. Don't do it all. Right? Don't do it all. Look at that. I love doing trees. Man, when you see a really nice finished product, especially someone who said they didn't know how to paint. Oh man, that's the best. And you see people just really learn a technique and be like, oh, it's technique. It's not really so much of like, you have to be a really good painter. You don't. Technique. It's all technique. Okay, I think we're okay there. Yeah, we got our shadows. Things are sticking out. Still got branches sticking out. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Now I'm going to do one thing here just before I move on. I'm going to take my liner brush and I'm going to make that little bit of yellow, orange, hint of green, hint of pink. Yeah. A little more orange. A touch more green. So I want it a bit darker. And I might add just a touch of black. In reality, I just don't have red on my plate, so I'm just taking the pink, orange, green, and black, because it's red and green that makes brown. But if you have orange on your plate and you have a little bit of yellow, well, you can make a lighter brown. All right, so this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight some of these edges here. I probably could have done it with a little bit darker color, which I'm going to go do. Because I'm not satisfied with that. I think it's too light. Yeah. There we go. I like that better. Just one edge. That's it. Inside edge. A few spots. Nothing crazy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my white. I'm going to highlight that a little bit more. Just a couple different spots on that edge. Just to make it look like there's some sun hit in certain areas. Look at that. Look at that. Simple, right? Look at the sun's hitting it perfect. Okay, we got to be quick because we're getting down to time. Big brush. Clean it extremely well. All my color of black there is dried. So we got a couple quick things to do. We're going to go into green and a hint of black. And orange is right beside it. That makes it look nice. So here's what we're going to do. We're just layering on some grass. Don't worry about how perfect it is. This might be like, I just push down those bristles to make sure it's nice and ugly. Just all you're doing is just leaving some gaps in there. We can come back with some highlight color. And we're not going to go too crazy. Mainly we want to make it look like it's hitting certain areas brighter than others. Right? Like that sun's coming through and hitting it, and looks so good, right? Up here. Man, that is crazy. Time is flying. Time is flying when you're having fun. I'm telling you, I've been having a lot of fun doing these paintings. All these different paintings. And just rekindling my love for art and for painting. I mean, I wasn't overly worried about it because I still get to do a lot of really fun paint nights and stuff like that, and that's a blast to me. And I want to do a couple darker spots, actually a little bit darker. Just a few darker spots here. Still going to be paint there. Still going to look like, actually probably didn't need to do that middle spot because I can do a bridge across. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, last little spot will be down here on the bottom. And then we'll just, while that's drying, again, leave gaps. Leave gaps. Maybe not doing so well. I got too much paint on my brush. Too much paint on my brush. No gaps. Gotta have gaps. Now you can always swerve up. And I'll bring grass. It's not what I want to do yet. I'm going to go into the yellow, into green. We got a nice light green here. With that yellow, we're going to hit some highlights of just places where we think that sun is going to hit. Boom. Cut through here. Oh yeah, look at that. Maybe it's going to hit right along here because of the sun shining straight through that building. Just on the other side of what will be the bridge. Let's see, up here, yeah, we're going to have some highlights right there along that edge. Yeah, look at that. See what happens when you just experiment a little bit more, a few more spots, and we should be okay. Yeah, see, the sun's just hitting certain areas, and you can go back and you can layer it and layer it and layer it. It's just really have some fun with it. You can go almost straight yellow on some spots and be like, I really need to pop out here. I really need it to pop out. Go straight into that yellow. Right, look at that. This almost could be like that sun's just nailing it. Right? Oh yeah. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I picked some spots like that. Right? All right, that's enough out of that. Like I said, we can go on for days, and we ain't got time for it. So right, cleaning my brush. Oh, we'll do a little bit of the dark green on the bottom side, or a little just highlights anyway. Some highlight tabs. Little bushies or something down here. And we're almost done here. We're almost done. All right. What we need to do is we need to just fill out a few more spots. Sorry, I just have to. Okay, going straight black. And we're going to hopefully try and complete it on this. Pushing really hard here, really hard here. Yeah, we got a few more minutes. Okay, straight black. And here's what I want to do. I'm going to draw a bridge that comes straight over to us. It's going to kind of fan out a little bit. It's going to fan out a little bit. I want to make sure we can see it all nice. Okay, yeah, there we are. It's going to fan out a little bit. Fill it in. Again, I don't care if this is silhouette. You can go back in after and you could add some highlights or something to it if you want. That's up to you. Totally up to you. I'm just leaving it as a silhouette. And right now we're just going to look like we got a railing here and a railing there. And all I'm going to do is drop in some nice little railings. Go back a little bit of railings on this side. Just a touch of, you can go left or right with some of your, make it look like woods in there, and you can touch a little bit of white in that too if you want, just, right? Look at that. Now that we did that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get crazy. We're going to throw some rocks in here. Right? Just a little bit of gray and black together. A little bit of gray and black together. Mix, well, gray, black, and white maybe. Okay, we're just going to hit a couple more spots. Right. Right. Just some places where we want some water to go around it. Where you think, this is just a little shallow brook. It's nothing crazy. Just a little shallow brook. Again, just a touch of highlight, and now we're going to go with white, and we should be able to finish off with this. Make it look good. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, we're going to go back in with white, and then hopefully finish it off with that, and it should look good. I mean, should is a key word. We want that to stand out. Wash brush good, really good one more time. You know, I think next time I'm going to bring in a couple brushes. Make it easier on myself. Save time and effort. So, we're going to left and right just swirl it down through. Bottom of the rocks, once we pick a little spot where we want to kind of maybe waterfall it, we'll pull it down like this. Just pull it around the rock. Go back in there. That's okay. That's okay. There we go. That's how we want it. That's how we want it. It's going to come in underneath. It's Just gonna come in underneath. All right. Just about done here. Just about done here. All right. I don't care if we cover up a couple rocks, that's fine by me. All right, that's fine by me. Last little bit on the other side. And you can always go back and touch up those rocks and get it going nice. All right, I'll make a look at some water is just flowing through there. Right, maybe it goes over that rock, who knows? We're fine by this, okay? I'm good by that. And usually you can use a little bit smaller brush to get some nice swiggles in there and highlight some of those rocks and stuff like that, and I think we're okay with this. Right? I think we're okay with this. I think we're okay with it. Yep. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to sign off. And while the credits roll, little DW down here. While the credits roll, they can, if they want to show this or not. I'm just going to take about 30 seconds. I'm just going to touch up some of those highlights. Just, you know, make some of those rocks stand out just a little bit easier. Don't want to go too crazy with them, right? So I hope you enjoyed the painting today. Thank you for joining me. I always appreciate anyone who's watching. And hope you have a wonderful day and God bless. And I will see you again, hopefully real soon. Have a great day. Bye for now. Bye for now. Just gonna do some swiggles through here. A little bit darker, I think. Yeah. Oops. It's not what we wanted, is it? It's not what we wanted. Just a little bit to finish it off. And then you can go back in one more time with white. One more time with white. You can do some little splashes if you want. Right. Just make it look like there's a little something in there. Just a little something in there. It's always the little things that just add all that detail, right? It's just the little things. All right, we're okay with that. Go back into that. Right? Exactly. I think we're good there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I might do to end it, really end it? I'm not going to do brown on those on that building, but I'm going to edge it. See what I mean? Just gives a little something. There we go. I'm okay with that. Done and done. Done and done.